What's up, guys? Korean Ninja A here, and hit that like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Sorry I was not able to deliver some my picks and whatnot on YouTube here, but we're getting it done this time, man. We're getting some nice picks out here. Really interesting fight here. We got Nicolae Negumereanu versus Ulberg over here. I mean, of course, this is a big thing where, Carlos Ulberg, he's of course training with the champ Izzy, and of course it's always the same. The City Kickboxing guys are gonna have all their fighters fighting there, and this is on the very first early prelims, the first fight of the prelims, very first fight of this card. Kind of interesting, interesting matchup, really. Now let's talk about this a little bit. Light heavyweight, as I said, it's kind of they're big guys. But if you look at this height difference, Ulberg, 6'4", whereas Negumereanu is only 6 foot. But the reach advantage, he has like 1 inch reach for Negumereanu. Negumereanu has 78 inch reach, while Ulberg only has 77. They're both orthodox, right? And if you look at significant strikes, obviously, Ulberg, being the kickboxer that he is, 8.91. A lot of output. He has, and he'll hit hard. He throws a lot in his into his shots, which is a curse, a blessing and a curse. I'll get into that a little bit later. Only 3.79 significant strikes landed per minute for Negumereanu. But even though he's listed as a striker, look, he's more like, he likes to use his MMA game he puts that mixed in the mixed martial arts, right? He likes to mix things in here. He kind of makes it a dogfight. Has more success kind of clinching, getting in your face, But yeah, significant strike accuracy, is 62.86% for Ulberg, and then as you see here, only 48.71% for Negumereanu. Takedown advantage, that's kind of misleading. Like Ulberg, 1.13, and with him, with Negumereanu, only 1.09. So, Negumereanu doesn't really necessarily have the, he's not going to go and just slam you down all the time, but he'll clinch up with you when he's not successful to take down, to actually, he'll make you work for it. He'll make you pay for it with a knee or something, right? And takedown accuracy, what the hell, look at that. 100% for Ulberg. He doesn't not really going for it much, so, it is what it is. Only 28.57%, but you got to take this with a grain of salt. I always say that. Look at the stats. It does help. It's a part of the puzzle, right? It's a piece, but you got to take it with a grain of salt. It's not, you can't just take it at face value. It's only important part. So I want to talk about these guys a little bit now. I want to talk about the betting line itself now. Here, as you see, minus 130 favorite for Ulberg and a plus 110 underdog in Negumereanu. And for decimal, if you want to do that, I prefer using decimal just because it's easier to calculate anyway. But Ulberg is decimal 1.76, right? And decimal value is for Negumereanu is 2.1. So obviously, nice odds there. Now talking implied odds. Now what does this mean? So implied odds for Ulberg as a minus 130 favorite. 1.76. If you're doing decimal, look, implied odds 56.52. So meaning, you have to. I see that's kind of fair. You have to say, all right, wait a minute. He should be he's a big guy, striker. He's got the City Kickboxing. It's their time. He should get it done, and they're all trying to. They're on camp together. They're grinding each other. They have a good. They have a good kickboxing, obviously. City Kickboxing, man. You think, all right. You think you give him a better shot than that. Yeah, he should. As long as stay standing, he should be able to, look a lot slicker and just land the more significant strikes on Negumereanu. That being said, look, implied odds for Negumereanu as a plus 110 favorite. Underdog. Implied odds 47.62%. You start thinking, wait a minute, that's nice. I like those odds. It makes sense. I think this is a fairly, the odds are decent. This is not. I agree with these odds is what I'm trying to say. And now, you kind of have to think, wait a minute. The Negumereanu is kind of looking good as an underdog, 47.62. He surely, hey, he could win this, 50% of the time. It could happen, right? And then we'll get into that. Let's talk about that. So it's up to you how you want to bet it. But another thing I'm actually looking at here, over 1.5 is minus 145. Now that's because, we're thinking, okay, so action's going to happen. It's going to be, a bloody war and someone's going to get finished. But, over 1.5 rounds is minus 145. Okay, so decimal, of course, 1.68. Implied odds is 59.18, right? So, look, do you think that, at least over 60% of the time, this fight goes over 1.5 rounds? Look, unless they get starched in the first round, surely they can make it out of that first round, right? And keep fighting a little bit. I'm kind of looking at that, but those are some things I'm going to throw out there. You might agree or disagree. I'm just trying to, those are things I'm actually looking at as just money line or the over 1.5. Now, I want to talk about these guys a little bit before I get too jumbled up here. I know I just wanted to get that out of the way just to tell you kind of like where my head's at here. And now let's break it down so you can make up your own mind about this. Now, Negumereanu, I think, in my opinion, I'm going to give you like the little, I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to tell you my thoughts straight out instead of just kind of going long-windedly breaking down every fight they've ever been in, you know. But yeah, I do think Negumereanu, I think, you know, a part of me does think that he will survive that first round and make it a dogfight. You know, he's the clinching with some knees, you know, thrown and you know, some takedown attempts, even if he's not successful all the time. I'm worried about Ulberg not getting the range to make it a slick kickboxing fight, which is what he wants to do, right? Kind of, you know, be able to get those nice like head kicks out there. You know, it kind of goes to the head a lot. A lot of success. Like also the low kicks are really good. Inside low kick, you know, go to the body as well. He'll mix it up. I mean, he's, you know, he has a good, obviously, a very finessed kickboxer. But, you know, maybe Ulberg, you know, maybe he gets it done in round 1. You know, maybe it does happen. But I do think Negumereanu, I think he will be dangerous as time goes on. We see him, you know, Ulberg start to fade under that pressure, right? I mean, he's not able to get you out of there early. I mean, he can kind of start to fade, you know. He puts everything in his shots. So that can be a blessing and a curse, as I said. You know, you gas yourself out. You know, I think Ulberg hasn't really been seen to defend many takedowns, so stats don't really reflect takedown defense accurately. You know, we have to take it with a grain of salt, like I said. I mean, it's like, you know, we don't really see him getting taken down a lot. So, and Ulberg will be improved from his last fight. I mean, obviously, but you know, Negumereanu is a dog, and you really can't count him out. I just feel like, and I want to talk about the fight when you were talking about Ulberg when in his UFC debut. I mean, those bright lights, you know. It was a really crazy fight. I mean, you had to go back and watch that, Ulberg versus Nicolae. And it's kind of weird because I don't want to use MMA math here, but, you know, Negumereanu, he beat Nicolae by a split decision, I believe. But, you know, let's break this down a little bit now. And that was, so we have to say, you know, I mean, I'm sure Ulberg has gotten better since then. I mean, he's getting training, he's with the champ, you know, obviously he has been. He's going to keep getting better, right? And it's not his debut, for God's sakes. Ulberg, he looked great offensively. I mean, he was awesome, right? Just setting up strikes and really, you know, and actually hurting Nicolae early. But Nicolae would, you know, land heavily as Ulberg began to gas, right? Ulberg, you know, now neither guy showed the best defense, but I will say that Nicolae, at least he had that high guard. The hands are up there, so he would get leg kicks and get hit there. And Ulberg would kind of set things up. I like that. He does what Izzy does, actually. They're similar in that, of course, right? Working together, you know, they like to grab the limbs and set things up like you see Ulberg would do both hands. He would grab Nicolae's forearms while Nicolae was turtled up in this kind of a, you know, this kind of peekaboo boxing kind of style. The hands are up in his face, you know, near in front of his face. And so he would grab the forearms and try to set something up, right? Get a little hook to go through the guard. You know, and it would land, but there was a lot of times where it would, you know, nice high kick would kind of hit the arm. It's good, it's damaging the arm, but you're not rocking him, you know, you're not rocking the guy. Because Nicolae would just stand, he would stand there, would just take it. And you would see it's crazy because he looked offensively, looked great. I mean, he would like, oh my God, it's just. But then you could see like he was really setting everything out. Like when you're putting everything in it, in those shots, you're gonna start to gas out. And of course, on the bright lights, the pressure, you know, obviously, I mean, it was a lot. So I mean, he began to fade, and it became competitive because, you know, Nicolae is, you know, heavy-handed. He's a big guy, actually 1 inch taller, I believe, like 6'5". So I mean, you know, Ulberg didn't have that size advantage, and Nicolae, like I said, he wouldn't go anywhere. He would get phased, he would get hurt, but then you would see he'd be the more lumbering of the two, right? Not as slick, but it doesn't matter because Ulberg's hands were down and his head straight up. So eventually, you know, when you're swinging, you have power. You're a big guy. One of those lands, it's not gonna be good, you know. At least Nicolae would have his hands up, you know, and block some of the shots. Now round 2 when it began, Ulberg, you know, he got, you know, a second win to some extent, but you know, he kept his hands low and his head straight up as usual, just like, or rather, just as the previous round. And Nicolae just keeps, you know, his high guard, like I told you, to block his shots and isn't going anywhere, right? He's not fading as much as Ulberg is because he can gas. And, you know, he backs up Ulberg to the fence and where, you know, they exchange and a right hook KOs Ulberg with less than 2 minutes left. I mean, he just wilts under pressure now. So we get an idea of like, that's just like kind of a bad showing for him. But Ulberg's look, you know, he's looked good, he's improved and getting better. But if you go back and watch Nicolae Negumereanu's fight, his most recent one back in July this year against Potiera, Potiera, it was actually interesting because it looked like he wanted to have some success doing the 1-2s, and he was just kind of like he looked like maybe like kind of similar, like maybe he had the speed edge or like maybe striking in a way compared to Negumereanu. But Negumereanu doesn't care. He would go with that nice. He has to like use that his reach to get that he'd lunge into that jab. He would try to close the distance, land that, and he was heavy handed, and he makes it a dog. He's like, it doesn't matter if I'm not the most technical striker. He's listed as a striker, but he's not. It's because he gets a lot of his, a lot of it done like that. But his best thing is that he's durable. He's a dog. He's gonna fight for your money if you want to put it that way. I know a lot of bettors don't like to use that term because like they're not fighting for your money. They don't care. I'm just saying it's just an expression, man. Because when you put money on them, at least you feel like, all right, he's gonna go out there. He's gonna try. He's not gonna just give up. He's gonna actually try to win it and make it ugly, and if he has to. And that's why he got the KO TKO in 3 minutes 33 seconds of the second round against, because Nurmagomedov he wasn't the prettiest of striker, right? He didn't have the most finesse, but he would get in there. He was effective. He'd go lunge in that and then lunge in to close distance. He'd lunge in with that nice long arms with that jab, and then he would when to distance was closed, he would try to set something up, push him against the cage, land knees. Is very brutal. He would make it ugly. Try to get you to the ground if he can, and land some ground around there. Or if not, get you a cage, land some knees there. He'll tire you out. I think if Ulberg does not start him out, maybe Ulberg looks great. Maybe he's right there and says, okay, I'm the favorite for a reason, and I'm bigger, and I'm gonna use my nice kickboxing and get him out there, and maybe. But I think Negumereanu, he's a dog, man. I think he's a good underdog. And to be honest with you, I think if you have Ulberg in a money line, I know a lot of people are like, oh, Ulberg will get it done. Everyone wants to get like the City Kickboxing kind of style, or rather they want to have the City Kickboxing guys in a parlay because they think, all right, Riddell's going to do it, get it done, Izzy and Ulberg, they just put them on there. But I would say be careful, and it sucks because it's literally the first fight of the damn card, so it's kind of hard to hedge. You have to preemptive hedge, and even then it wouldn't make sense because what if Izzy gets KO'd, or what if Riddell gets KO'd because he's also kind of, it's a tough one, He can't be completely confident in him, 100%. So that being said, I do feel like I think it's worth a sprinkle, though. I think if Negumereanu here, I think, a good boy, Nicolae. I should just call him Nicolae, man. That's easier to say. Damn. But anyway, Negumereanu, I think it's worth a unit. I'm not saying to go crazy and go several units on it. You could, but I think money line, with that plus money, I think it's good to sprinkle on because, why not? I think he's a dog, man. He'll fight for you, and he has shown durability, shown cardio. If like I said, if Ulberg doesn't spark him in that first round, you got to really be biting your nails if you're backing Ulberg, right? I think Nicolae. Another thing too, like I said, if you're gonna parlay something, I would say over 1.5. I know it's risky, or starts round 2 if you really want to do that. I know that's gonna be really juiced, but I would say that's good. Starts round 2 or over 1.5 as a parlay piece, but. If you are parlaying Ulberg, like I said, just be, hey, I don't know, man. Preemptive hedge, I know it sounds like crap, but I personally think Negumereanu is worth a sprinkle, man. As an underdog, put a unit on him, So yeah, that's my take, guys. Let me know what you say. I understand. I could actually see, because Negumereanu is so durable, I could see Ulberg winning a decision, but I think it's, it could be tough, He's going to get gassed. It's when you're betting on someone, especially if they're favorite, one of the worst things to see is bad cardio or some cardio issues. You don't want to see that. I know he's got improved, and who knows? Maybe I'll eat my words. And like I said, yeah, I'm sure Ulberg is going to look, as long as it stays on the feet, Ulberg is going to look really great. But and even then, I'm kind of hesitant with that statement because, like I said, Negumereanu on the feet is a striker, but he his best work is because making it ugly, kind of using that clinch work, right? And sapping energy. When you're tired, he won't be tired. He's going to come at you. So that's why it doesn't matter. You could be, I don't give a crap. You could be like a second degree black belt in karate or whatever, and you go against if you go against, I don't even know, a lower belt, right? Whatever, I could have maybe a blue belt, whatever. That's actually not bad. The blue belt's good. But anyway, regardless, if that blue belt has way better cardio than you, unless you spark that guy in that first round or in the first minutes, you're gonna look. Your second degree black belt's not gonna mean crap because your technique goes out the window and you're easy to KO. We saw it. So I'm just saying, guys, sprinkle on Negumereanu as an underdog there. That's worth sprinkle. Put a unit on that. Why not? And then if you're gonna parlay piece, I would say for this one, like I said, starts round 2 or over 1.5. That's what I would parlay. Unless you want to just go crazy with City Kickboxing parlay, But that's just like a for fun one. If you want to put all sick kickboxing guys, I don't know, just sprinkle on that. That's just a for fun one, dude. But anyway, yeah, like, subscribe, all that bull crap. I'm gonna stop rambling on, guys, and peace out.